Hi everybody, it's Lorraine from pregnancyexercise.co.nz. Welcome to our weekly kind of coffee chats, afternoon chats, tea time chats, whatever you would like to call it. Obviously they're at different times all around the world. Wednesday and Friday here in New Zealand at 2 o'clock. Now, today's topic, we are going to talk about something that's extremely important because it relates to how well you improve, how much you can increase your strength, how much you can reduce the risk of injury postpartum. So what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about how and when to safely progress your diastasis and pelvic floor muscle exercises postnatal. All right, so I've been teaching, coaching 25 to 30 years, if I'm being honest. It's a long time ago. I'm quite old. So a long time. So I've come from, an athletic background, personal trainer background, working with mums pre and postnatal. So I have seen and experienced a lot, and which you don't tend to get from your kind of state of the mill average programs where you have to follow as that. Okay, so let's have a look. First of all, let's step back and have a look at somebody without commitments training for a half marathon, say. What would normally happen is I would normally coach somebody, would have 3 build-up weeks, an easy week. I reduce your training intensity by around about 20%, and then you've recovered and adapted and you build again. So it's kind of like a 3 to 4 week cycle where you'll see that progress and adaptation. Now, postpartum, it's completely different because it's now going to depend on how often you actually get to do your exercise, regularity of your exercise, breastfeeding, nutrition, how well your nutrition is, and sleep. Now, I say to a lot of mums to get good adaptation from your exercise is you do need 6 hours sleep. Now, obviously that's going to be broken. Once you're up to 6 hours continuous, that's what you need to aim for optimal recovery based on experience with my clients. So going on to your diastasis and pelvic floor muscle exercises, what's a rule of thumb? Because we need to change and improve and change our strength exercises, or we're not going to see any changes to our core muscle strength. You're not going to heal your diastasis if you continuously do floor exercises. You're not going to see those changes. Also, though, if you move too quickly from those initial exercises, your rehab, your ground, your functional exercises, let's say if you move from, just say, oh yeah, I've done my slides, bridges, etc., and then you start going on to 50 to 60 crunches a day, toes to bar, etc., then you could make things worse again, especially if you're still breastfeeding, okay? Because when we're breastfeeding, those pregnancy and postnatal hormones tend to stick around for around about 3 months post-weaning, so they will have an effect on your linea alba. All right, so let's have a look at some basic rules of them. If you're exercising, doing your 10 to 20 minute diastasis exercises 3 to 4 times a week, after 2 to 3 weeks, you will need to increase and change your exercises. Have to. You cannot keep doing the same exercises for any longer than that. You're going to go stale. Your brain sees no challenge, so it's just like, nah, I'm not going to adapt to this. It's stale. So you'll see that in people who do the one particular same type of exercise all the time. I'll say pump, okay, same exercises, similar reps and sets all the time. If you don't mix it up and change it and just go in the gym a couple of times, then your body's just stale. Things are stale and you won't see change. So if you're managing to do that, exercising 3 to 4 times a week, you've done 3 to 4 weeks, you are more than ready to build up. And then you need to check your core strength is ready, because again, we think, okay, I can do all this, I can do the slides, I can do side planks, I can do bridges, I'm surely must be ready for full press ups. All right, so Mums will think they're quite strong, and this is where I test them. We've done 4 or 5 weeks in the studio on birth to fit mum, and I was like, okay, come on then, let's do some press ups. And you can feel really good in this position. So what I'll be doing is testing that you can hold the transverse activation. So testing throughout the entire press up, and then you breathe in here. Then I get them to do it in a full press up to see if they lose it. Now they may not lose it on the first one, but they might start to lose it on reps 4 to 6. So then you can start to build up and change things. So you're looking for a loss of control, but not only a loss of control, is a technique change. So if you start to see, you know, you've gone up to your press ups, yeah, I'm managing it in my core, but your head starts to drop down, back starts to drop, hip starts to lift up too much. Again, they're all technique changes that you don't want to see because they're going to increase the risk of injury and you're not going to be working the right muscle groups. So think about that when you're doing things. Now, let's have a look if you're not managing to do your exercises 3 to 4 times a week. What if you're only managing them once or twice a week and you've not really got into a routine past 2 weeks without the kids being sick, or, you know, without yourself being sick, or something's happened, you've been up all night for long stretches. So say you've just done week 1 and week 2 twice a week, you're kind of up to week 4, week 5, and you're not going anywhere, but you're kind of getting bored of their exercises. What do you need to do? Okay, so your body's not ready to advance to exercises, but it sure can do different types of exercises. And that's where like the No More Mummy Tummy Challenge is great, because we've got several levels within the level 1, same level 2 program, lots and lots of different variations. So we'll say level 1 is kind of where you're still working on increasing the pelvic floor strength, increasing that connection. So start to mix things up. So let's say if you've been doing leg slides, okay, let's do leg slides, add a bridge in there with a press. So similar loading exercise, but it's different. So you can add some little dumbbells here or water bottles, things like that. If you've been doing side planks, they've been feeling good, what you can do is add a little lift. So just little changes like that without increasing the intensity too much when you're not managing to do your program and to do your workouts as regularly can still help you improve and mentally help challenge you as well. So hopefully there I've guided you through enough information and advice to help you decide when you're ready to progress. So just remember those rules. You have to progress to adapt and see results, but you don't want to go too slow, that you go stale, and you don't want to improve too quick, that you increase the risk of injury, increasing your diastasis, and increasing pelvic floor and prolapse issues. If you're not sure with your own training, please put them down in the comments. I'll either answer if I see the question before we go offline, but I will definitely answer any questions or concerns that you may have about your own training program. This is all also the same after any injury, time off, surgery, right through. All right, so try and keep this as a guide. Especially, you know, postpartum, breastfeeding, sleep deprivation, everything else. You can still get to the website and join the programs with that 35% discount. And also this week, we have just released the start date for the next No More Mummy Tummy Challenge, which is the NMMTC, which starts on October the 3rd. So you can go ahead and book your spot on that as well. Okay, everybody. Thanks so much for joining in and watching. Again, comment, ask any questions if you need to. Show me those likes so it gets around to a few more people on Facebook. That would be fantastic. And I will see you on Friday for our next chat. Go to the website, pregnancyexercise.co.nz. Thanks, everybody.